The following content has been provided by RWTH Aachen University.
So, yeah, the first thing we will be talking about today are Gestalt laws. So, basic laws of how people make sense of their surroundings. And our brain is very good at that. So, if you see something, if you perceive something, your brain is immediately trying to put that into context and figure out, well, what does it mean? Let's start with this one. So, if you see something there, don't shout it out. Keep it to yourself for a minute. And now, please raise your hand if you see something in this picture. All right, yeah, around more than half. So the others are still asleep, or the brain is still in idle mode. So what do you see here? Yes? A dog. Yes, it's here. Sadly, it's missing a leg in this outline. But yeah, is there anything else you can see in this picture or make sense of? Yes, up here it looks like, well, there's a tree and there are shades under it. And the thing is, well, your brain is basically mixing up the black and white dots there and trying to see something it can make sense of in there. And, well, now that you've seen it, can you unsee it? No, that's not possible, right? So you have this connection now of this interface, or this image in there. So you have the black and white areas, and you see something in there. And it's very difficult to make that go away. And that is important if you think about user interfaces, because when you have there something that the user perceives or makes an image of, tries to make sense of it, and it's not there or it's wrong, you can't unsee it, or it's hard to unsee it and unlearn it. So keep that in mind, or you should keep that in mind when you're designing something. How does the human actually perceive that? We have some more examples here. So what do you see here? A horse with a rider, yes. Then I think this one is quite popular, actually. You can either see a vase or chalice here in the middle, or two faces looking at each other. And then, well, there also works with more concrete images. So what do you see here? A woman. What is the age of the woman? An old woman, yes. But it's also a young woman in there. Yeah, you can see both. So the young woman is actually looking in this direction. Here's the nose, the eye, and, well, head. And while the old woman has the eyes here, mouth here, this is nose. And what you can do is you can switch between the things that you see there, but it's not possible to see both at once, right? And, well, these design guidelines, well, if you know about them, they can really help you, but if you ignore them, this can be a big problem. And yeah, I have actually no idea why this image is in there. I mean, it's just dolphins, right? Just some dolphins jumping in the air. Or what do you see? And that's actually an example where the brain changes over time, because if you show that to kids, they will just see the dolphins. They don't see what you're seeing with your dirty mind. So these are all some examples, how the brain perceives images. And there's actually a whole theory devoted to this, and that's called Gestalt theory. That was by, well, in the 1910s, something, how do you call it? I don't know. By Köhler, Kofka, and Wertenheimer, which are people from the old Berlin school. And it's actually called Gestalt Psychologie. And they thought, well, if I'm looking around in our environment, how do I actually make sense what I see? How do I get to perceiving something as belonging together? So if I have this door frame, Well, actually, I'm just seeing a line, another line, some colors. But why do I perceive this as a door frame? And they looked at that. Why is a window frame recognizable to me? Why are these bars here? Why do I perceive them as belonging together? And it's not only visually, but also over time, or it works auditory. And they found out it's not only about the perception there, that I'm seeing this and I take it in as a unit, but also for memorizing. So if I try to remember something, I'm also keeping this in my brain as a unit. I'm not remembering, well, a door is a frame with 3 lines and width and has some color, but actually it's belonging together. And they found over 100 of these laws, and we'll just cover part of that, so not all 100. But you can look them up. And if you keep those in mind, they can actually help you while developing your user interface. Because, well, if you look at this, for example, it's immediately apparent to us, well, these are 2 windows lying on top of each other. And I have here 3 areas that are divided by lines. I have here some icons that are connected to a description and a checkbox that I have here. On this one, I have a label that is then connected to this text field here. Well, these all have checkboxes with text, but these seem different because will likely deal with different things because I have a divider there. And yeah, that basically helps us to combine or to parse this information that I'm seeing here. Because, well, if I look at a pixel here, how can I say that it belongs to this window and not to the one in the back? And basically, these are things that Gestalt law help you with. Yes, I have something else. And yeah, you can see that good user interfaces often really adhere to these laws and keep them in mind, and you don't have them thrown around. And we'll see about some examples there where this didn't work.
This content was provided by RWTH Aachen University.